balanced farming for better family living. Balanced farming, the modern way to efficient production, a high net income, improved soil fertility and conservation, and a better living for the farm family. But good farming, such as seen by these terraces, green pastures and crops, and the absence of gully scars and ditches, this type farm management helps more folks than just these farm families. It helps folks in the city, too. It helps those in industry, those in construction, it helps the merchant in town, and it helps the consumer to obtain higher quality products. Balanced farming helps the banker who is assured of a maximum credit business at little risk, because farmers operating with balanced farming are doing a top job of management. Everyone benefits because the high income from balanced farming puts farmers in a buyer's market. They're able to buy heavily of consumer goods. To see why, let's glance at balanced farming in action. We will see how it can work on your farm, or how it benefits you if you live in town. This is the Carl Riekhof farm in Lafayette County, Missouri. Note how well kept and inviting it is today. For a closer look, let's get acquainted with the family. They are real farm folks. They're your neighbors. They might even be your family. This is Carl and Edna Riekhof on the divan. That's two of their sons, Ralph with the radio, and Alfred working on his fishing tackle. An older son, Kenneth, is serving with the armed forces. The Rieckhoffs started balanced farming in 1948. This transformed their 210 acres into productive land. It included a complete water management plan along with a topsoil improvement program. The farm needed the capacity to handle more livestock and the capacity to produce bumper crops like this 100-bushel corn. But this same land produced only a 45-bushel crop in 1942 when the Riekhoffs purchased the farm. After a few years of this low production, they started working on a balanced farming plan with their county and home agents. That was in the fall of 1947. By 1948, they were putting it into operation step by step. This first year, they applied 87.5 tons of limestone and 15.5 tons of mixed fertilizers consisting of nitrogen, superphosphate, and potash. This was in addition to barnyard manure. Soil treatments coupled with an improved cropping system increased the carrying capacity of the farm. Livestock numbers jumped from 27 steers in 1946 to 59 steers in 1948. At the same time, brood sows increased from 8 to 10. Income climbed accordingly. This meant that by 1949, the Riekhoffs could see their way to replacing their old house with this new home, in addition to paying off a sizable debt load incurred when the farm was purchased. The family has also added new and improved farm buildings. a paved walkway to keep cows out of the mud. These improvements are expensive, and you may well ask how they did it. Actually, we might say they did it by high-volume production through good management, following their balanced farming plan. This meant good feeding practices, and they had to raise the feed. So every field was fertilized according to soil test. Barnyard manure was applied along with bulk fertilizers. After considering various enterprises, the family decided to shift from beef to dairy. They had the labor supply and a rather limited acreage. So they purchased a few dairy cows such as this and made the change gradually. There was also a big shift in cropping practices. The emphasis was now on plenty of pasture for cows along with a good cropping plan. In the spring, rye served as night pasture for 2 months. Then it was plowed down with soil treatments including nitrogen. And a short time later, the field looked like this, producing 100-bushel corn crop. Here's another example. Improved permanent pasture of ladino, brome, and alfalfa. This forms a basis for his year-round pasture program. It also produces a plentiful supply of grass silage for winter feeding to go into the new silo. Carl maintains a rotation to supply clean ground every year for his hog crop. Corn follows clover, and rye then completes the 3-year rotation for clean ground. The Rieckoff family worked closely with their county and home agents in planning and carrying forward their long-time balanced farming program. Every phase on the farm was planned, and the home was no exception. In their building plan, Mrs. Riekhof chose the U-shaped kitchen, which is a real step-saver for farm homemakers. The entire family made the final decisions and actually put the plan into operation. Yes, good practices were followed in every phase of farming. DHIA testing was a part of their herd improvement plan. Yet, despite a more than $10,000 debt, the Riekhoffs found they could profitably put a balanced farming plan into operation. Here is how their finances shaped up. In 1942, they purchased this farm. It cost $16,500. They tried to get the necessary production to pay off the debt. But the farm just would not produce enough. Yields hardly paid production costs, and pastures wouldn't carry the needed livestock. So it was a profitable day, the day the Riekhoffs talked to their county agent about balanced farming. And after 5 years, this. Wheat now makes 30 bushels per acre. And other crops are doing as well. 100-bushel corn, improved pasture carrying 3 cows per acre. Now, the Riekkoff's farm production is among the best. They have terraced their farm, and wasteland has been reclaimed. The entire acreage is fertilized according to soil tests. They have a good cropping and pasture system. This adds up to a sound soil conservation program. Farm buildings are modern and in top repair. Livestock numbers have reached a new peak. The farm is well equipped with machinery. Waterways are well built and maintained. And the family is happy. That's Kenneth, the oldest son, on the right, along with his wife. The boys entertain their friends in this basement recreation room. Shuffleboard is popular, as is ping pong. And there is always plenty to eat. Yes, it's a happy family, and they should be. They have paid off a mortgage of more than $10,000. They have also invested more than $46,000 in equipment, land improvement and conservation, farm buildings, furniture, appliances, and family living. And it's all been done during a 5-year period. Every bit of the money has been made off the farm through high volume production and efficient management. That's balanced farming. For the Riekkoffs, balanced farming has certainly meant better family living. Their cheerful modern home. Good, nutritious things to eat. And their home freezer makes fruits and vegetables taste even better when they're out of season. Mrs. Riekkoff's plan calls for keeping it well filled. Their central heating system keeps their house comfortable. Another improvement which pays its way is this electric water heater. Balanced farming, such as the Riekkoffs are doing, is within the reach of every farm family. They are simply getting the most possible from the farm and still building and conserving soil. For them, soil conservation is simply a byproduct of good farming. They are simply using the many good practices which fit their farm to get volume and efficient production. Balanced farming has worked for others. It will work for you. Here is what it means to the thousands of farmers who are operating with balanced farming. They are improving their farmsteads. They are leaders in their communities. And serving on numerous committees such as this church group. Typical of balanced farming families are the healthy and happy Norbert Burkempers of Lincoln County. And these children will go to college. But we must also remember that balanced farming reaches beyond the farm. It means good and nutritious foods and more of them for all of us. Grade A dairy foods are available at the door of urban families. And when the farmer produces abundantly, he is able to buy goods in town. Industry makes more hard goods, creating more jobs for everyone. the big thing for the farmer is this: balanced farming adapts to any farm. It works for Earl Whitesides on his Livingston County beef farm. It works for Eric Edding in Lafayette County. Edding specializes in replacement animals for farm herds. Edgar Lampy's replacement heifers point up balanced farming on his South Missouri dairy farm in Lawrence County. And the hog farmer also finds that balanced farming means the volume production which we need to feed an expanding populace. Poultry, too, is a paying enterprise in numerous balanced farming plans over the state. And the list is endless. Yes, balanced farming works. It has worked for the Rieckoffs, and it will work on any farm. Talk it over with your county agent today and see what balanced farming will do for you.